Hello and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Attorney Dual Destinies. Last episode, we resume trial for the Cosmic Turnabout. Today we will be doing more of just that. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming you were this third person. Ah, forgive me, I'm so sorry.
So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be close another fabulous cure. I only have one question for the likes of you. Should I send you off quickly or very quickly?
Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. This is all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true, I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. And I went past the elevators and all the way around the boarding lounge one again. I came behind Detective Arm, pretending to be the second on the scene.
What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts.
I see. So then, are you still insisting you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos with a history-making witness. Now hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Blackwell saw was you. No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. If I were the killer, why would I let it come out from Starbuck? I'll just leave him to take the fall. That's an excellent point. Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover from Mr. Starbucks. Still, he's a lie's a lie, Athena. So Dr. Cosmos claims he's not the culprit. Where's the proof? Ah, I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said that she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yes, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. And ask any of the member staff you like. They'll corroborate me.
The director was not fitting to the court for once. I can confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified.
So you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the first crime first at 10 a.m.? And then you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Mr. Blackwell saw, though it was pitch black and was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see the face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. As long as he has an alibi, we can't very claim that Director Cosmos was the killer. No, we can't. And again, maybe we don't need to yet. I wonder if he was really coming from Miss Starbuck. Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw. Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please. Alright, witness testimony, here we go. What I really witnessed. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I had to avoid getting shot, but when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and, well, the launch pad one door, and then the control room should have been shut to the killer. So you were shot up by the killer as well, and then they disappeared. Yes, though luckily, no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Turian's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of a tank being ruptured. Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal. That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? Right, what a mess this is turning into. Okay, so let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Turian and his killer, the culprit shot a .10 caliber bullet at him. Right, but it actually hit Mr. Turian's oxygen tank and ruptured it. And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him. Judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out, too. It's a good story, but it doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared. I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But when I found was Turian with a knife in his chest and stomach out cut on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that has no escape route.
Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos. A riddle of the ages indeed, but I'd rather know how a fitting nature as you can be loved as great.
A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself even if those around him don't understand.
Wow, that might be the first true statement he's said all day. But how do you suppose that— oh.
Simple, because it was spaced by himself. When it was followed by the director in awe, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. It would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of being of
I want to raise an objection, but I don't have enough any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, do you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor?
No, because it was dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room.
That wasn't exactly helpful.
I'm prepared to accept your surrender, right to know.
I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help, huh? Well, the director was giving his testimony. Okay, yeah, I get it. We gotta use the moon matrix. Good. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. You're concentrated to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Alright. What's the unexpected emotion? As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. Okay. Yeah, this all makes sense. You'd be surprised, you'd be scared / sad. And you'd probably be a little angry. That all lines up. And that's the same. Alright, fair enough. Try to get another look, they vanished into thin air. And you weren't surprised by that at all? You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air.
I did this kind of thing doesn't usually happen.
And yet at the time you barely registered any shock at that occurrence.
What? Why are you...
I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right?
What?
No, of course not. That was preposterous.
Only I can enter the control room. And the area behind the launchpad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door... I was standing right there. So there was no one for the killer to run to.
Maybe or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran. Yes, what if the culprit took that opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door?
I highly doubt, as you recall, right after I entered the lounge.
Detective Arm came rushing towards herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised by the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use?
Nah.
It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. Seems to be one more motion that's an odd with the testimony. Go get him! Okay, back at the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Okay, I don't think it's anything before that point. It was near the elevator side door. Yeah, that probably wouldn't prohibit an emotion. And well, the launchpad 1 door... Wait, okay, why are you scared / sad about that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the launchpad door.
The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? And what basis do you have for that outlandish accusation?
Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it.
Most certainly not.
Director Cosmos, there's something about the launchpad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Wow, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data, and yes, just what I wanted to see. Okay, good. That's good progress. Presto changeo, less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. That makes sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished in the lounge, which brings the possibility he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launchpad made him uneasy. In other words, he's probably hiding something by the launchpad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one... Director Cosmos, the real killer escaped through here. Through the launchpad 1 corridor. So it's the only reason why he would be scared about it. Well, the culprit went through the launchpad 1 door to escape, didn't they?
Yes, I mean, no, disaster to starboard. We're going to crash into an asteroid.
A master tactician you are not. But the area behind that door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can just figure out what the director is hiding about the launchpad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies.
Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock, do you?
I mean, you could have just used Starbuck's hand. It was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way you could have easily got past the security lock. Yeah, just pick up Starbuck's hand and use it. Did examine the pencil, yeah. Suppose the killer used this person to get past the security lock. Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbuck's prints. And actually, Mr. Starbuck's prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. It looks like he does have something to hide about the launchpad 1 door. I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Huh? Oh, yes, by all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic?
I hope you didn't strain your falsities too much for that, your boldness.
I beg your pardon?
Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point...
Oh my, the footage cuts off!
The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged, possibly by the after effects of the explosion. There was no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens.
And I thought it was such a good idea, too.
Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery, doesn't mean you should try to show off too much, Grandpa Boldness.
Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild has learned a little about the hardships of the adult world.
Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you went to the lounge? If I must. Okay. I hid to avoid getting shot. Okay, yeah, makes sense you'd be scared about that. I guess, I really thought that the blue one would be, like, sad, but I guess it's more scared than anything else. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. Okay, so you're losing your sadness, that makes sense. Info update, ooh, exciting. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. Yeah, massively surprised about that. And then the detective shot wait a minute, so detective appears. Holy moly, mega surprise! Detective literally shoots at me. I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a surprise. That seems odd. Detective Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotions. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yes, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found him in the lounge. And just after that, you were, of course, again surprised when she shot at you. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprise is that you were more surprised when Arm came. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at, it suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy's acquired a new weapon. Come on, commence operation, hide under your desk! Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Okay. Getting there. Boss, I'm getting less this one now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launchpad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. Wonder what it could be. If he's doing something supposed to around that door, maybe we can spot something. So okay. So what? Literally, there's one and only thing I can think that could possibly be different, and it's this. I can't even look at it. Oh yes, I can. That button right there, the red button. It's or the knob thing. It's got to be that. Maybe it's a different direction. Okay, so it's up right there. Do we have photos of the? Maybe here. No, nothing. I need a photo of the. Like after it. If it's in a different if it's in a different position than was before, that the only thing that makes sense is if it was turned. Yup, that's what it is. Look, it's turned now. It's rotated. Okay, but what does it do? Like that, it changed, sure, but that doesn't help us because like, what the hell did it do? Yeah, I got it. There's a change. Okay, yeah, there's a change. Got it. Thanks, Director Cosmos. What is it? What have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And the answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo was taken during the investigation. Tell me, you really do have an answer. You pointed out already. He's asking why this is what changed directly after the incident. Nope, not. I don't. Oh, okay, good. That was close enough. The answer is this knob. But for some reason, it got knocked off target at the last second. Your Honor, please take a look at this footage. Let's see. Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad. As you can see, it's horizontal. Yes, it is, isn't it? However, when we investigate, oh, what does that mean? It means that sometime before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob. After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos, let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob on the door? Fine, I admit it. You're right. I did turn that knob. That knob is a signal weapon to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there might be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away. You wanted to do what now? Yeah, he didn't tell something about the said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. That's new information. I did not hear about that. Stay locked in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first. I guess that clears up what the knob is for. Oh, so if the killer escaped in the launch pad one's corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site? I don't think so. The launch pad 1 corridor was full of smoke. I don't think they could have escaped to that corridor. So then where did the killer escape to? Oh! Wait! They was switched. That's what I was missing. That one piece of information right there. The fact that those things can be switched around is what we were missing. Because if the space museum used to be the second launch pad, right? So that means they can be rotated around. So maybe the bomb was never on the actual rocket. Or no, sorry, it wasn't the actual rocket. But then Cosmos maybe not have been trying to kill them, maybe been trying to save them by flipping it around. So that the rocket that the two got on was the one without the bomb. And actually, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Because I don't know how the hell I didn't see this before. But where's that? I would have a photo. But in the photo of them walking, there's no smoke. But there should be smoke in that corridor. If it was actually the one that led to the rocket. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. That's actually so smart. That's such a clever twist. Dr. Cosmos, I request you tell us more about moving the launch pad in more detail. Fine. Let's give him a history-making testimony. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. Why the hell would you... Okay, wait a minute. You had no choice but you're happy about it. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock. You made it sound like you were reluctant to do so, and yet when you did, you felt some joy as if you were pleased with yourself. How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there? Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we discovered at this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda. Ah! Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there! I know that some people regress as they grow old, but you, sir, take the cake. And how can you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence. You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh.
Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden?
You've spoken nothing but falsity since you stepped onto that stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway.
Liar! Well, his words bite harder than his blade.
You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions. My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you.
You know, just to stop, a modern English can be your friend.
And here is a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge to one side. That please confirm this on the scene.
What? So that means the director didn't move the launch pad? I'd say he moved it back to make sure that they didn't get blown up by the rocket.
Cause my judgment of recalling his history's greatest lie to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content.
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of the issue, we just might find the killer escaped too.
You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or you're not man enough to, boy.
Ah! Ha! Talk about hitting below the belt. Youngins these days. I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was differently turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ah! Wait a minute. Maybe we have it all backwards. Yup, exactly. It's still annoying as all hell that you have to point this out, that you have to like hold my hand the whole way. But yup, I was right. I was so goddamn right. That's such a smart twist. That's so smart. I was admittedly a little reluctant. I was a little nervous with how this case started off, but this is so smart. Yup, exactly. All I had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right when the police found it. Ah! You made him sound like Mr. Starbuck. Was what I said really that off base?
It pains me to have to explain how wrong your logic is to you, however. A great lie to not only after you discover the crime scene. Indeed, the panic is to be on the lounge when our astronaut has made their escape. A fact that has been recorded by for posterity on flawless. Oh! Wait! Oh, how did I not see that? How did I not see that? They did a Turnabout Samurai! It's a 2! There's a 2 on the floor behind them! How did I not see that? Oh my god! This is so smart! Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy.
Ah! She had a grimace to write in focus. We know the launcher must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the cases are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage should be fake, taken with body doubles set to the incident or something. On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me. Never actually boarded the rocket? Yup, there you go, there you go. Now you're getting somewhere. Now you're getting somewhere. Yup.
Cut the existential block, cut you.
Mr. Wright, you'll explain yourself at once. I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning. Very well, Your Honor, let me explain. Director, was to switch it with another place. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? What could he possibly have switched the launchpad with? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box, and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched with the launchpad 1. If I can move the hand.
Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum.
In the past, the Space Museum used to be launchpad 2. And that has all the same features as launchpad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning the Space Museum and launchpad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean... The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in launchpad 1. It was the one in the Space Museum, and here's that music again. And yet it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. Let's say the launchpad and one of the Space Museum already switched places. That's right, and then with the two switch like this, the astronauts enter the Space Museum from the boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter launchpad 1 with boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door of the Space Museum from boarding lounge 2.
Welcome, welcome! The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 AM to 7 PM.
Exactly, anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There was no fingerprint recognition system on the door. In other words, with a two launchpad switch like that, someone other than Mr. Stomach could have easily planted the bomb. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit could snuck into the boarding lounge 1 and waited there concealed in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged in the Space Museum. Recall Master Blackwell, Mr. Starbuck, and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, the director switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. So goddamn smart. So genius. These are the levels of twists that the original trilogy brought out at the last second. The killer that left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway.
Right, Duno, I see you know how to handle it. Fast as you call your Soul's Master bluff.
I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor.
But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword.
Oh, but I can. There's a number 2. There's a number 2 in that thing. Yep, the number on the floor. Well, what do you know? We have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. Oh, don't worry, it's all right here, right in this footage. Prove that beyond this door is a cord of the Space Museum. Very well, then, as a story, if you would. What's in? Oh, it's this right here, the number 2. Mind you, this is the penultimate case of the game. How the hell is the finale gonna top this? There's a 1 on the floor of the Launchpad 1 corridor. Take a look at the floor in the corridor of the security footage. You see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2.
What?
Why is it a 2 and not a 1? That's because the corridor you see is the one in the Space Museum. So that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1 and on the side outside the Space Museum. And now that we know the two astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. Mr. Terran carrying Mr. Starbuck simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. It was incredible. The two launch pads were actually switched, but you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Nope. Because they were all in the they were all in the basement. There was no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. Gotcha! No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth! My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy my ultimate weapon! Galactic engine! Ignition! What? It's gone haywire! Oh. Oh. You good, buddy? Oh dear. Oh no. Oh god, what have you done? Oh. No, not that way. Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. On your steed. I see I managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, you admit you switched the launch pads.
Yeah, I admit it's true. I switched launchpad 1 for the Space Museum.
Oh, it's good to hear what I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized that instantly he stepped into the Space Museum that it had been switched with launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I would like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched to launchpads to begin with.
I will say my hands were tied. I was only doing what I could do to keep my men from getting caught in that blast.
The director is terrified. It must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh?
Excuse me, but do you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing.
I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say?
I don't get it.
Don't get it? What don't you get?
Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us!
Mr. Starbuck.
Starbuck, my boy, I'm sorry, I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center.
Director, will I ever get the chance to go into space again?
Yes, of course, I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy.
Then the dream is still alive.
Silence.
You're not going to space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way.
Why are you so hung up on him?
Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched, and if there was a third person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I've yet to see proof of this third person's escape via the Space Museum.
Oh, that's a good point. He's right, I don't have any proof.
Starbuck, you will spill everything you know.
What?
Me? Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood.
I'm going to space, I want to die in space. I have to do something.
Someone, Starbuck, prepare yourself.
Fulbright! Ah, now you know, Fulbright's never the answer for Prosecutor Blackwell.
That only cheerful laughter can be none other than.
Ah, Fulbright comes to save the day! Ha! Champion of Righteousness, Folly Fulbright here. In justice we trust.
Detective Fulbright?
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer, but I hope I'm not too late.
I don't believe we have an appointment.
I tried to hurry, but I ended up having a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell you, stress sure is a full-time job.
Was it a fight between cats or... Why are you here again?
Because the defendant is the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served!
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Right. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed?
Nope, but I also think you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes, and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment.
What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
Yeah, he did say that. I forgot he said that, but he did say that.
I didn't think he was serious, though.
So what is it, Detective? Is it something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent?
It is indeed. Have a look at this.
What's this, a lighter?
That's right, a lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. The Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. It has the victim Clay Terran's blood, along with his killer fingerprints on it.
What? Order! Take it forward. Can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant?
You're right, Mr. Starbuck, it's only innocent. Okay, there we go. This is it. This is just what I needed. Let her add to the court record. Unfortunately, I don't have any idea who the killer actually is, because it's not Cosmos. Oh, there's that music again! Yeah! It's not Cosmos, we know that because he was just trying to save his men, which is such a clever twist. I'm so happy with that. That was such a cool way to end this off. But I don't know who the killer's gonna end up being. Because, like, usually by this point, it's pretty clear who it's gonna be. But I guess, actually, maybe, honestly, probably, it's gonna end up probably being another investigation section. Because if we're coming up on the last 2 cases of the game, they're probably gonna end up being a little bit longer, so I guess maybe we're not supposed to know yet. Although, I mean, the fingerprints are there, so we're gonna find out who it is anyway.
Please, Mr. Wright.
With a pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with the lighter in their hand in the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the 2 launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in Mr. Boarding Lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that Director Cosmos is testified to, therefore Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one that dropped the lighter there!
Silence! Ah, but the defendant had free reign of the air until Director Cosmos appeared. Could not have dropped the lighter in the space during that span of time.
You'd like to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after they saw the mysterious figure with the lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have... Oh dear. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found in this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? The piece of evidence unequivocally proves Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit!
This doesn't appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims.
As for the robot suit that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck.
No, there must be some mistake.
Frankly, Mr. Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I understand your orders to be guessed tomorrow.
Let me guess, statute of limitations runs out?
Fulbright, you promised to never speak of that.
Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent, in light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, the court finds the defendant Solomon Starbuck not guilty. Yeah! Woo! Ah, this game's good. Yeah! Another victory in the bag. I don't know. I really don't know how the final case is gonna how it's gonna top this. Like that. I mean, I don't know whether Turnabout Academy was better than this. It's pretty close because they're both really strong cases. I probably still would prefer Turnabout Academy just because of the friendships and Athena being freaking incredible, and that final piece of a deduction on her was so genius. But I mean, that final bit with the whole rotating, switching him around thing was also pretty clever too, so I don't know, it's pretty close. But, I mean, the last case more consistently go, whereas this one kind of started off a little rough. Because I can start off with the whole Apollo, like, sighing over and over again, and Apollo, just, I mean, being Apollo, he did get more character development in this case, though. He got significantly more character development in this case, so that's a pretty nice touch, I gotta admit. I mean, overall hasn't been bad. It's been, like, they're both incredible cases. So, let's say we pull it off somehow, huh? With some help from the Detective 4, right?
Miss Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you, and please thank Apollo for me too. You are the best.
Ooh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too, but that's gonna have to wait.
Now that the verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
That case is so good. I mean, I would love to know who... let me guess, we're gonna find out whose fingerprints were on there, which, I was about to say, I'd love to know whose fingerprints were on there, but, you know, it's too late to object, isn't it?
It simply isn't possible, something's wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell, are you dissatisfied with the verdict?
Fulbright, what were the results of this fingerprint analysis for the lighter?
Huh? The results? Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was a catfight, and well... I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck, so...
You have yet to read it?
Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to?
Upon due analysis, the fingerprints were found to belong to what?
What? That's why. That's fucking why. That is so goddamn smart. Oh my god. That's fucking why. That is, I guarantee you that's why. And if, okay, here's the thought process, right? You know that stupid little bandage he's got around his eye? I guarantee you we find out the reason he has that bandage over his eye is so that he cannot perceive Athena's lies. I guarantee you that is why. And if that is why he has that bandage over his eye, because, like, the whole trial, the beginning trial, he was acting really weird. Really, really strange. And this is why. And he was suspicious of someone at the end of the investigation, and this is freaking why. And if that ends up being why that bandage is there, that single act, that single decision is more character development for Apollo than the entirety of the last game, and that is fucking genius.
Susus do report.
What? What? Huh? Me? But also, I got caught up in the whole Apollo bandage smart thing, but what? Athena?
Order, I say, order! Besides, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving this letter could only belong to the kill, so finding your pencil can only lead us to one great conclusion. I don't know how they got it, but I know I'm not the culprit. This can't be happening. We built up our argument piece by piece, and I don't think of any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Letter updated in the court record. Ah, what have I done? Please forgive me, I'm sorry. Order, take it forward, stop your crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Order, I will have order. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth had turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason into the jaws of a twisted darkness.
Holy shit! Oh my god! That's the end of the case?! No, that's not that. No, there's no way. I can't. I'm not waiting any longer. I'm picking up I'm playing the next case right goddamn now. I mean, I'm not gonna do it in the same video, obviously, but yeah. Oh, that's such an epic name for a final case. Turnabout for tomorrow. That's such an epic name for a final case. Oh, bring it on. Bring it on. This is gonna be so goddamn good. I can't freaking wait.